My girlfriend whispered, "You should smell like him instead," while handing me expensive perfume. My hands shook as I realized every joke, every comparison was slowly breaking me down. Faces around us went pale, yet the biggest secret remained hidden. I am 24. She is 23. We have been together for about 8 months. Her name is Callista, and she is honestly way out of my league. Gorgeous, confident, popular. I still cannot believe she chose to date me. I am pretty average looking, and yeah, I could probably lose some weight. I have always been self-conscious about my appearance but never really obsessed over it until I started dating her. The issue is her best friend, Sebastian. This guy is basically everything. I am not tall, athletic, good-looking, charming. He has been her friend since high school and they are incredibly close. Like, suspiciously close sometimes, but she always says I am being paranoid when I bring it up. Here is what has been happening, and I don't know if I am being too sensitive or if this is actually messed up. Last week we were all having dinner at this restaurant downtown. I ordered a burger and fries because, it is what I wanted to eat. Sebastian looks at my plate and goes, "Dude, maybe you should think about getting a salad instead. Just saying." And Callista immediately chimes in with, "He is right. Babe, it would be good for you." I felt my face get hot, and I just sat there not knowing what to say. The way they both looked at me like they were doing me some kind of favor by publicly shaming me for my food choices was humiliating. But it gets worse. Sebastian starts talking about this mukbang YouTuber who has gained a ton of weight, and he says, "I kid you not. Callista was just saying earlier that she doesn't want Elias ending up like that guy," and they both start laughing, like it is the funniest thing in the world. I looked at Callista and asked if she really said that, and she just shrugged, like it was no big deal. I mean, I want you to be healthy, babe. Is that so wrong? I didn't eat the rest of my meal. Then there is this thing with cologne. A few weeks ago, Callista gave me this really expensive cologne for no particular reason. Said she thought I would like it and that it would smell good on me. I was touched because it was thoughtful and probably cost like $150. I have been wearing it ever since. Yesterday, I complimented Sebastian on his cologne because he smelled really good, and he says, "Oh, thanks, man. It is my signature scent. I have been wearing it for years." Then he mentions the brand name, and it is the exact same cologne Callista gave me. I asked Callista about it later, and she initially denied it. Then when I pressed her, she admitted she just gave me the same cologne Sebastian wears because she knows what smells good on guys. When I asked why she didn't just help me find my own scent, she said I was making a big deal out of nothing. The worst part happened last weekend. We were at a pool party with a bunch of their friends. I was feeling pretty self-conscious about taking my shirt off, but eventually I did because it was hot, and everyone else was swimming. Callista and Sebastian were sitting together on lounge chairs and I overheard her say to him, "I mean, you can see why I keep telling him to hit the gym. Look at the difference between you two." Sebastian laughed and said something like, "Yeah, he has got some work to do." I confronted Callista about it later that night and she got angry at me. She said I was eavesdropping and that I was being way too sensitive. Then she hit me with this line that she uses all the time: "You are being controlling by trying to police what I say to my friends." Every time I try to bring up how these comments make me feel, she turns it around on me. I am too sensitive. I am too insecure. I need to work on myself instead of trying to control her. Sebastian is just trying to help me become a better person. But here is the thing. I don't feel like a better person. I feel like shit about myself constantly. I have started avoiding mirrors. I have been eating 1 meal a day trying to lose weight fast. I barely talk when we are all hanging out together because I am terrified of giving them more ammunition to mock me with. Is this normal? Are they actually trying to help me improve myself? Or is this just cruel? I love Callista, but I am starting to dread spending time with her and Sebastian because I know I am going to leave feeling worse about myself. My friends keep telling me this isn't normal relationship behavior, but maybe they just don't understand what it is like dating someone out of your league. Maybe this is the price I pay for being with someone like Callista. I don't know what to do. Part of me wants to end this, but another part of me thinks maybe they are right, and I just need to toughen up and actually make the changes they are suggesting. Edit. A lot of you are asking about specific examples. There are honestly too many to list, but these are just the most recent ones that really stuck with me. Edit 2. To everyone saying I should dump her. It is not that simple. She is not evil. She can be really sweet sometimes. I think she genuinely believes she is helping me. But reading your comments is making me realize that maybe help shouldn't feel this humiliating. Edit 3. Someone asked if Sebastian has feelings for Callista. I have wondered about this, but she always shuts down the conversation when I bring it up. They definitely have a weird dynamic that makes me uncomfortable. Update 1. The consensus was pretty clear. This isn't love. It is systematic bullying. A bunch of you shared similar experiences, and it helped me realize I wasn't crazy for feeling horrible all the time. So I decided to do something about it. I spent the last few days really thinking about this relationship and when it started going downhill. The truth is, Callista has been making little comments about my appearance, almost from the beginning. At first, they were subtle, suggestions about clothes, pointing out guys she thought were attractive, who all looked nothing like me. Comments about my eating habits framed as concern for my health. I realized that Sebastian didn't start the body shaming. He just made it more overt and cruel. Callista had been wearing me down for months before he ever said anything. She just let him be the bad guy saying what she was thinking. The cologne thing really got to me. Who gives their boyfriend cologne and tells him it is because she wants him to smell good when really she is just making him smell like another man. A man she spends way more time with than me and clearly thinks is superior in every way. It is sick. I decided I needed to see what would happen if I stopped just taking their abuse quietly. My opportunity came Tuesday night. The three of us were grabbing dinner before a movie, and Sebastian made some comment about how I should order the grilled chicken instead of the pasta. Because summer's coming up, bro. Instead of sitting there feeling ashamed like usual, I looked him straight in the eye and said, "Sebastian, I don't remember asking for your opinion about what I should eat." The look on his face was priceless. He was clearly not used to me pushing back. He tried to laugh it off and said he was just trying to help a friend out. I said, "If you were my friend, you wouldn't constantly comment on my body and make me feel like shit about myself." Callista immediately jumped in with Elias. "Don't be rude to Sebastian. He cares about you." That is when something inside me snapped. I turned to her and said, "If this is what caring looks like, I don't want it. When was the last time you said something to me that wasn't a criticism or a suggestion for how I could be different?" She stared at me like I had slapped her. "I cannot believe you are attacking me right now. I have been nothing but supportive." "Supportive?" I laughed, and it came out bitter. "Callista, you gave me cologne so I would smell like Sebastian. You talk about my body to him, like I am not even there. You constantly compare me to other guys and find me lacking. That is not support. That is humiliation." Sebastian tried to jump in with, "Dude, you are really overreacting here." I cut him off. "And you, why are you even involved in our relationship? Why do you think you get a vote in what I eat, how I dress, whether I go to the gym? You are not my boyfriend." The restaurant got really quiet, and I realized other people were staring at us. Both Callista and Sebastian looked mortified. Callista tried to do damage control. "Can we please not do this here? You are embarrassing yourself." But I was done caring about appearances. "No, I am embarrassing you. And honestly, good. Maybe you should be embarrassed about how you treat people." I threw some money on the table for my drink and walked out. They didn't follow me. Callista has been blowing up my phone since then with the usual rotation of manipulation tactics. First, she was angry. How dare I humiliate her in public? I was being cruel and vindictive. Sebastian didn't deserve that. Etc. Then came the fake apologies. She was sorry if I misunderstood their intentions. They were only trying to help me reach my potential. She loves me just the way I am. Which is obviously bullshit given everything she has said and done. Now she is trying guilt and self-pity. She is devastated that I would think so poorly of her. She has been crying for days. How could I throw away our relationship over misunderstandings? She thought we could work through anything together. But here's what really tells me everything I need to know. In none of these messages has she actually acknowledged that her behavior was wrong. It is all about how I misunderstood, how I overreacted, how I am being unfair to her. Even her apologies are conditional. She is sorry if I was hurt. Sorry if I misunderstood. She is not sorry for what she did. She is sorry she got called out for it. Sebastian sent me one text. "I think you owe Callista an apology. She is really upset." I didn't even bother responding. The crazy thing is how good I feel. For the first time in months, I am not walking around feeling ashamed of my own body. I am not constantly worried about what I am eating or whether my clothes make me look fat. I am not analyzing every word I say to make sure I don't give them new material to mock me with. I realize now that I was living in a constant state of anxiety trying to avoid their criticism. That is not a relationship. That is survival mode. I haven't officially broken up with her yet, but I think I am heading there. Part of me keeps hoping she will have some moment of genuine realization about how she has been treating me. But based on her messages, that doesn't seem likely. Edit. A lot of people are asking why I haven't just blocked her and ended it officially. Honestly, I guess part of me is still hoping she will show some real remorse and acknowledgement of what she did. But you are right that I am probably just dragging this out. Update 2. I wasn't going to update again, but the situation has developed in ways I didn't expect, and I think you guys who have been following this deserve to know how it ended. After my last post, Callista kept up the pressure trying to get me to meet her so we could talk through our misunderstanding. She was alternating between love bombing. Suddenly, I was the most amazing boyfriend ever and she couldn't live without me, and guilt tripping. I was destroying her mental health by giving her the silent treatment. I was honestly starting to waver. Not because I wanted to get back together, but because the constant messages were wearing me down and part of me just wanted to end the drama by having one final conversation. Then something happened that made the decision easy. My friend Marcus invited me to a party at his girlfriend's place Saturday night. It was going to be a pretty big group, maybe 30-40 people, including some people from Callista and Sebastian's social circle. I almost didn't go because I didn't want to deal with the awkwardness. But Marcus convinced me that I shouldn't let them control my social life. I am really glad I went. About an hour into the party, Callista and Sebastian showed up together. I was talking to some friends on the other side of the room when I saw them arrive. Callista immediately started scanning the room until she spotted me, then made a beeline in my direction with Sebastian trailing behind her. She walked up to me with this big fake smile and said loudly, "Eli, I am so glad you are here. We really need to talk." She was clearly performing for the people around us, trying to make it seem like everything was normal between us. I said, "We don't have anything to talk about, Callista." She kept pushing, getting louder and more dramatic. "Baby, you are being so stubborn. I know you are upset, but we can work through this. Don't throw away what we have over something so silly." Sebastian was standing behind her, nodding along like a bobblehead. "Yeah, man, Callista's been really torn up about this. She loves you." That is when I realized they were doing the exact same thing they had always done. Tag-teaming me, making me look like the unreasonable one, forcing me to either submit or look like the bad guy in front of everyone. But this time, I didn't care about looking like the bad guy. I looked around at all the people watching this scene unfold and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "You want to know why I am being stubborn, Callista? It is because I finally realized that someone who loves you doesn't spend months systematically tearing down your self-esteem." Her face went white. "Elias, don't. But I was just getting started. You have spent our entire relationship making me feel like shit about how I look, what I eat, how I dress. You gave me cologne so I would smell like Sebastian here because apparently even my natural scent wasn't good enough for you." People were starting to really pay attention now. Sebastian tried to interrupt with, "Dude, this isn't the place." I turned to him, "And you? What kind of person inserts themselves into their friend's relationship just to tear down her boyfriend? What was your endgame here, Sebastian?" The look that passed between Callista and Sebastian in that moment told me everything I needed to know. Pure panic mixed with guilt. Callista tried to regain control. "You are being ridiculous. Everyone here knows I would never. Everyone here can decide for themselves." I cut her off. "But I am done pretending this was a healthy relationship. You treated me like a project to fix, not a person to love. And honestly, if you want someone like Sebastian, just go be with Sebastian. I need someone who actually respects me." The room was dead silent. Callista looked like she wanted to disappear into the floor. Sebastian was just staring at his shoes. Then I did something that felt incredibly liberating. I looked directly at Callista and said, "We are done, officially. Don't contact me anymore." And I walked away. The party got really awkward after that. A bunch of people came up to me throughout the night saying they couldn't believe how Callista and Sebastian had been treating me, and that they had noticed the weird dynamic but hadn't wanted to get involved. Apparently, I wasn't as good at hiding how miserable I was as I thought. Marcus told me later that Callista and Sebastian left about 20 minutes after our confrontation. Word is they were both really shaken up by the whole thing. But here is where it gets interesting. The fallout over the past week, I have heard from multiple people in our extended social circle. Turns out, Callista and Sebastian's behavior toward me wasn't as subtle as they thought. A lot of people had noticed the constant put-downs, the weird boundary issues, the way they would team up to embarrass me. Several people have told me they are not surprised we broke up because they could see how unhappy I was. One girl, Jessica, even said she had been wanting to say something about it for months, but didn't know how to approach it. More importantly, people are starting to see Callista and Sebastian's relationship differently. The consensus seems to be that Sebastian was way too involved in our relationship, and that Callista was either oblivious to how inappropriate it was or didn't care. I have heard through the grapevine that some of their friends have been asking uncomfortable questions about their dynamic, like, if Sebastian cared so much about Callista's happiness, why was he actively making her boyfriend miserable, and why was Callista okay with that? The best part is that Sebastian's reputation has taken a hit. Apparently, several people have started calling him out for being a shitty friend. Not to me, but to Callista. The theory is that a real friend wouldn't sabotage her relationship, even if he didn't like her boyfriend. Word is that Callista is pissed at Sebastian because she blames him for our breakup becoming such a public spectacle. She thinks if he had just stayed out of it, she could have eventually worn me down and gotten me back. She is not wrong about that. Honestly, if it had just been her being subtly critical, I probably would have kept making excuses for her behavior. It was Sebastian's overt cruelty that made me realize what was really happening. As for me, I am doing great. The relief is incredible. I had no idea how much energy I was spending trying to avoid their criticism until I didn't have to anymore. I have been going to the gym, but for me this time, not because someone else thinks I should. I have been eating what I want without analyzing every bite. I have been wearing clothes that make me feel comfortable instead of worrying about whether they make me look fat. Most importantly, I have been remembering what it feels like to like myself. I know some people think I was too harsh at the party, but honestly, I don't regret it. They spent months humiliating me privately. One public moment of truth-telling seems like a fair trade. Final update: I really wasn't planning to update again. But something happened that I think puts a final bow on this whole situation, and honestly, it validates everything I felt but couldn't prove. Remember how everyone was speculating about whether Callista and Sebastian had something going on? Well, turns out my instincts were right. This past weekend, there was another party, different friend group, but some overlap with the people who were at the party where I had my public breakup with Callista. I almost didn't go because I am honestly over the drama and just want to move on with my life. But my friend Jake convinced me it would be good to get out. I am glad I went, because I got closure I didn't even know I needed. About halfway through the party, this girl named Amy pulled me aside. Amy was friends with Callista back in high school, and they have stayed in touch, though they are not super close anymore. She said she had something to tell me but wasn't sure if she should get involved. Turns out, she had been at another party the weekend before where Callista had gotten pretty drunk and started oversharing about our relationship and what happened after we broke up. According to Amy, Callista was complaining about how unfair I had been at Marcus's party and how I had humiliated her for no reason. She was painting herself as the victim and saying I was just insecure and couldn't handle having a guy friend around. But then Sebastian, who was also drunk, apparently got tired of listening to her victim narrative and said something like, "Oh please, Callista, you know damn well why he was insecure. You were practically throwing yourself at me the entire time you were dating him." This led to a huge argument between them where a lot of stuff came out. Amy said it was clear that they had been hooking up on and off for months, possibly our entire relationship. But more than that, it became obvious that they had been deliberately trying to make me insecure and drive me away. Here is the part that made me physically sick. Apparently, Callista had been planning to break up with me for months, but she liked having a safe boyfriend while she figured out her situation with Sebastian. Sebastian, meanwhile, didn't want to commit to her but didn't want her dating anyone else either. So their solution was to systematically destroy my self-esteem until I either became so malleable that I would accept any treatment, or I had break up with her and save her from having to be the bad guy. The body shaming, the comparisons, the cologne thing. It was all intentional psychological manipulation designed to make me feel worthless, so I wouldn't think I deserved better. Amy said that during their drunken argument, Sebastian admitted that the whole trying to help Elias get healthier thing was bullshit. He was actively trying to make me hate myself so I would either leave Callista or become so insecure that I would tolerate them hooking up behind my back. Callista apparently said she thought their plan was working until I snapped at the restaurant and started standing up for myself. She was genuinely surprised that I fought back instead of just taking their abuse. Amy felt sick listening to all this and decided I deserved to know the truth. She said several other people at the party were also disturbed by what they heard and have been talking about it since. I honestly don't know how to feel about this information. On one hand, it is horrible to know that people I trusted were deliberately trying to psychologically destroy me. On the other hand, it is weirdly validating to know that I wasn't crazy or oversensitive. They really were as cruel and manipulative as they felt. The good news is that their drunk confessions have pretty much destroyed their reputations in our social circle. Word has gotten around about what really happened, and people are disgusted. Several mutual friends have reached out to apologize for not speaking up sooner when they noticed how badly I was being treated. Apparently, Callista and Sebastian are now dealing with the social consequences of their behavior. People don't trust them anymore, and several friend groups have started excluding them from events. The general consensus is that if they could be that calculating and cruel to me, they could do it to anyone. There has also been some speculation that their relationship isn't going well now that it is out in the open. Turns out that psychologically torturing someone together isn't a great foundation for a healthy relationship. Who would have thought? As for me, I am doing better than ever. Finding out the truth was initially upsetting, but it has also been incredibly freeing. I no longer have any lingering doubts about whether I overreacted or was too harsh. They deserved everything they got, and more. I have been seeing a therapist to work through some of the damage their manipulation did to my self-image, and it has been really helpful. It is amazing how much progress you can make when you are not actively being sabotaged by people who are supposed to care about you. I am also dating someone new. Her name is Riley, and the difference is night and day. She builds me up instead of tearing me down. She encourages my interests instead of mocking them. When she makes suggestions about my health or appearance, they come from a place of genuine care, not manipulation. Most importantly, she makes me feel like I am worthy of love and respect, just as I am, while also supporting me in becoming the person I want to be. That is what a healthy relationship looks like. And I never would have recognized it if I hadn't been through the hell of dating Callista.